Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. At least one hospital is at its COVID-19 bed capacity. Public health expert calls for review of COVID-19 restrictions. I'm Anthony Lugg. Here are the details. Meanwhile, one public health expert says the worst of the pandemic is yet to come in Jamaica. Associate Professor of Public Health at the University of Technology, Dr. Alverston Bailey, has joined calls for a review of the COVID-19 measures. Dr. Bailey says if the surge continues, the government may have to consider targeted lockdowns.
Since many persons entertain the thought that the pandemic was behind them and grasp the opportunity provided by the removal of restrictions with wanton abandonment, paying no regard to any of the recommended protocols, whether in a private or public space, and now we are seeing the impact. There's no doubt in my mind that we are now experiencing a third surge, possibly caused by the more transmissible Delta variant, and if aggressive restrictions are not reinstated, the positivity rate will continue to rise and the impact on the health sector will be severe.
210 people have been hospitalized from the respiratory illness COVID-19. Of that, 35 are critically ill. There are 4,899 active cases. Meanwhile, the country recorded 150 new cases from 1,436 samples. The overall case count is now 53,543. The positivity rate is now 23.8%. 3 new deaths were also recorded, pushing the death toll to 1,203. And to some more COVID-related news now. At least one hospital is this afternoon reporting that it is running out of space due to the rise in COVID-19 cases. The University Hospital of the West Indies says it's now at capacity. O'Shane Masters has more.
Despite running out of bed space, the UHII in a statement said it will not turn away patients. The University Hospital says it will diagnose and stabilize patients and call for other hospitals, such as National Chest, Kingston Public, and Spanish Town to accept some of them. It comes just a week after Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton at an opium presser noted that hospitals are nearing capacity.
With respect to general occupancy, 7 hospitals were in the red alert zone, which means these facilities currently have 84% or greater bed capacity or occupancy, while 4 are in the amber zone with greater than 74% bed currently being occupied.
Regional Technical Director for the Northeast Regional Health Authority, NERA, Dr. Patrick Wheatle, says hospitals in St. Anne, St. Mary, and Portland are not overwhelmed with COVID-19 patients. Dr. Wheatle told our correspondent yesterday that there were beds available. But CEO of the Sentence Bay Hospital, Dennis Morgan, says they are nearing capacity.
About 80%, 80-90% of our available COVID bed has been now being occupied.
Mr. Morgan also noted that the hospital bed capacity is also down by 12 beds. This, he says, is due to the renovation of an isolation ward at the facility. In the meantime, the Medical Association of Jamaica, MAJ, continues to blame the relaxation of the measures on July 1 as a major contributing factor to the spike in cases island-wide.
The WHO had recommended that authorities not ease restrictions until we had attained a positivity rate in terms of COVID tests of 5% or below, and maintain that for at least 2 weeks before considering easing the restrictions. So we are creeping up to a point where we were in March, so we have to do what we have to do now to bring down the positivity rate again, and I hope that once we're able to achieve this, we will move forward based on the medical advice.
O'Shane Masters, TVJ.
The promoters of the Dream Series have announced a strict admission policy for the event. The parties will be staged in Negril, Westmoreland, starting August 5 and is the largest entertainment event approved under the revised curfew measures announced by the Prime Minister last week.
For our brand and for the comfort of ourselves, our families, our stakeholders, we wanted to have what we would consider a bubble event. So, of course, what that actually looks like is that To enter any event during Dream, and this goes for patrons and staff, you either have to be fully vaccinated or present a negative COVID test that is from an approved government lab. And that is 48 hours before the start of Dream Weekend.
Measures were communicated during a meeting with business and tourism stakeholders from Westmoreland. Other news now, residents in Kent Village, St. Catherine are questioning the delay in the 2-year-old fish kill case against Windalco, which is still before the court. The National Environment and Planning Agency, NEPA, had brought legal action against Windalco, but residents say to date they have not heard anything. Sandy Williams reports.
A fish kill in Kent Village in the Bogwalk Gorge, St. Catherine, over the weekend has sparked questions about a court case brought against the bauxite company Windalco 2 years ago for a similar incident. In 2019, the Rio Cobre was reportedly contaminated by effluent from the bauxite company's holding ponds, which overflowed and entered the tributaries leading to the river. This resulted in a massive fish kill. Several people also fell ill after using the water or consuming fish from the river. Subsequently, the National Environment and Planning Agency, NEPA, pursued legal action against Windalco. After 2 incidents, the matter is still before the court, and the residents believe the case is being deliberately delayed.
The attorney for the defense is arguing, or should I say, wants to find out the basis under which the court-appointed division selected this interpreter. Now, this interpreter, she came to court with her instrument of appointment, her qualifications and her experience. So to challenge the process of her selection, in my view, amounts to, delay tactics.
Kester Nord Gordon has been following up with the court proceedings. He says a trial date is yet to be set for the case. However, the case is expected to be mentioned in court on October 4.
So we are hoping that by then all parties will get serious and so that a trial can commence. The citizens are very anxious. They feel that their rights are being shoved under the table. They feel that their interests is not being protected, and they feel that they are being denied justice.
Residents say they have not received any compensation they claim was promised to them by Windalco in 2019.
The last time them do a thing like this, the fish them end up on the banking stink. Them come and say, all right, we can go ahead and clean up here. And from we clean it, no one no come to us and give with a compensation or pay we for the work we do.
Clearly, somebody needs, to show some concern for the people.
In the meantime, NEPA is advising against the consumption of fish caught in the river due to suspected pollution. The agency has since launched an investigation into the fish kill. Sandy Williams, TVJ News.
It's time now for a break. Stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to Midday News. Thanks for staying with us. More concerns this afternoon about the trimming of a Rastafarian teen while in police custody in Fort Parks, Clarendon. The attorney representing the teen says he will fight to ensure justice is served. The issue was discussed on the morning agenda on Power 106. Questions continued this afternoon following claims from a Clarendon family that a Rastafarian relative was trimmed while serving time at a lockup in Clarendon recently. The Rastafarian is 19-year-old Princess Nzinga King. Attorney-at-law Isaac Buchanan, who is representing the teen, has vowed to take the matter to the Privy Council in ensuring justice is served.
There is a court of appeal, and there is, when it's all said and done, a final court of appeal outside of this jurisdiction.
And therefore, are you saying that you're willing to take it as far as the Judicial Committee of the Privy Council?
It has to. Last year, we had called on the Prime Minister to intervene, and there was no intervention. Statements that this is unacceptable is not enough.
Executive Director of human rights organization Stand Up for Jamaica, Carla Gulata, believes Miss King's identity was trampled upon.
It is infringing really the idea of dignity of a woman, and plus princess is somebody which everybody knows. So it's a way to show that you are Rastafarian, I disrespect you. I got your locks, which is your crown.
Jamaica is considered to be the land of Rastafarianism, a religious and political movement which started in the 1930s and was adopted by many groups across the world. At least one Rastafarian is now hammering at Prime Minister Andrew Holness to put an end to the situation once and for all.
It is more than overdue for the Prime Minister to come out and address this issue, not only the cutting of Rastafari locks, whether in jail, whether in school, whether on the street, whether in their home, but also to make it clear to the police force when it comes to the rights of Rastafari.
In the meantime, the police commissioner has ordered that a team of investigators be dispatched to Clarendon to investigate the case. The commissioner said the claims of human rights abuses are very serious, and any officer who is found to have violated a person's right in this way has no place in the modern JCF. One man has been hospitalized following a motor vehicle crash on Shortwood Road in St. Andrew last evening. It's understood that a black Mercedes-Benz crashed into a utility pole at the entrance of Aylsham shortly before 8 o'clock. A unit from the fire department responded and had to cut the vehicle to remove the driver. The driver, who sustained multiple injuries, was taken to hospital for treatment. A passenger inside the car was not injured. The authorities have promised improvements to the drainage network in the Longville Park community. The area was among the most affected communities in Clarendon during the recent flood rains brought on by Tropical Storm Elsa. Dwayne Anderson reports.
Residents, members of the political directorate and representatives from state agencies seen here locked in talks. They were trying to find solutions to the flooding issue in the Longville Park community in Clarendon. Residents say some of these streets and drains were flooded during the passage of Tropical Storm Elsa, and with more than 4 months left in the hurricane season, they do not want a repeat.
What we found out is that the drains were inadequate. They are inadequate and they were inadequate. And so all of these drains have to be expanded enough to carry that volume of rainfall whenever we have that excess rain.
But residents are being asked to help themselves by doing things that can prevent flooding.
Disposal of grease in terms of cooking oil. We tend to throw it down the drain or the kitchen sink, but oil and water don't mix. And when the oil cools, it forms fat blogs, which end up causing a narrowing of the pipeline. And again, it causes some kind of overflowing or blockages.
Technical teams also pointed out that materials such as gravel and marl deposited along roadways for building purposes can help block drains and cause flooding.
The municipal corporation has the responsibility for enforcement. But they have said to us, and we can appreciate it, that it's a sensitive issue. One, there is the reality of their own capacity to have persons to go around and to enforce every day. But that's their responsibility, and so they've committed to doing so. We are all in this together. And so if you live in Longville Park, you have to appreciate that what you put in the road is not just going to impact you, it will impact the little boy or little girl that is riding their bicycle, right? It's going to impact the mother or the elderly who live beside the drain and end up being flooded out.
Residents in the meantime are calling on the local health authorities to carry out more vector control work in the community, such as fogging, as they are now battling a serious mosquito issue.
Since the passage of Tropical Storm, we have been having quite a lot of mosquitoes come down into the early evening, and by about probably about 9:30 to 10, it will give us an ease, and early morning again.
The Longville Park community is one of the largest dormitory communities in Clarendon. Dwayne Anderson, TVJ News.
For the latest in the world of business, here's Cody and Barrett with the Business Minute. And now for the top regional and international stories, here's O'Shane Masters.
In news from the region, Infectious disease expert in the Bahamas, Dr. Nikia Forbes, says changes to travel requirements revealed on Monday are consistent with data about how COVID-19 variants are affecting the ability of vaccinated people to transmit the virus. The office of the Bahamian Prime Minister yesterday announced that all fully vaccinated travelers coming to the country will now be required to obtain a COVID-19 test, rapid antigen test, or PCR, with a negative result within 5 days of arrival. On the international scene, the New York Attorney General's investigation into sexual harassment allegations against Democratic Governor Andrew Cuomo found that Cuomo sexually harassed multiple women.
The independent investigation has concluded that Governor Andrew Cuomo sexually harassed multiple women and in doing so violated federal and state law. Specifically, the investigation found that Governor Andrew Cuomo sexually harassed current and former New York State employees by engaging in unwelcome and non-consensual touching and making numerous offensive comments of a suggestive and sexual nature that created a hostile work environment for women.
And that's your Midday Roundup. I'm O'Shane Masters.
We head now to a quick break. When we return, we'll have your Midday Sports Report. Simon Preston is standing by.
Welcome back. It's now time for Midday Sports. I'm Simon Preston. Defending champion Elaine Thompson-Herah completed the sprint double at the Olympic Games in Tokyo when she won the 200 meters in a national record of 21.53 seconds earlier this morning, Jamaica time. In winning the event, Thompson-Herah also achieved a historic double-double as she defended both the 100 and 200 meter titles from the Rio 2016 Olympics to become the first woman to do so. And finally, this afternoon, the first two-year-old race of the series gets underway at Caymanas Park today with the inaugural BGLC Toba Juvenile Dash. As Denise Walters reports, debutant Bugatti is the 5-2 anti-post favourite to win the trophy.
The post position draw for the BGLC Toba Juvenile Dash and the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Commission Trophy took place at Caymanas Park recently. Two-year-old bay gelding Bugatti will line up from Gate 7 with Shane Ellis aboard for the dash. Second in the anti-post odds, Bay Filly Princess Shooting Star will start from position 9 with O'Neill Mullins in the saddle. Others expecting to shake things up are Silent Mission, Mr. Incredible, and 31 Kisses coming from post positions 11, 4, and 3.
The BGLC and the Thoroughbred Owners and Breeders Association have partnered to add value to our very first two-year-old race of the season, the BGLC Toba Juvenile Dash, over 3 furlongs. We've received 13 entries for this two-year-old juvenile dash, which I believe is some kind of record. Well, we haven't seen that kind of number for the very first two-year-old race of any season.
All debutants, the race is set to run at 2:05 p.m. going over 3 furlongs straight. The 4-year-old Chestnut gelding late non-start on July 17 prior to race time because he was ill and will be looking to make it 3 wins from 4 starts. Back with customary jockey Dane Dawkins in the saddle, Mahogany will run from Gate 7. Speedballs God of Love, Patriarch and Salvation, who will be looking to have a say in the outcome, will run from Gates 2, 1 and 4. 8 horses are set to face the starter at 5:05 p.m. And Garincha is the 5-2 morning line favorite for the Emancipation Day Trophy, going over 6.5 furlongs. 9 races are on the card with the first post set for 12:50 p.m. Denise Walters for TVJ Sports.
And that is it for your Midday Sports Report. I'm Simon Preston. Anthony, it is over to you.
All right, thank you, Simon. Thank you very much. And that's the Midday News. I'm Anthony Lugg. Join us at 7 for Primetime News. On behalf of the news, sports, and production teams, good afternoon.